Okay, you're in for a treat today because today's episode is going to be completely unscripted, which means I don't have one note that I'm taking my cues from. There's going to be a lot less editing in this episode because I'm challenging myself to come outside my comfort zone like I ask other people to do. I'm living by my own words and doing this today. So today's episode is for those of you out there that want to know what is the most effective way that you can take charge of your life. Yes, lose some weight. Yes, keep it off for a lifetime. But more importantly, what are the exact steps that you should take in order to get started and as you work your way through the whole process? So I hope you enjoy it. Like I always say, get out a paper or a pen, and a journal, and get ready to write some things down because there's some really good lessons to be learned here today. And much of it is going to be based on what I published in this book, Fit Anyway, the 9 Simple Directives to Win at Weight Loss and Change Your Life Forever. So let's get ready to dig in and learn a few things today. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 37 of the LeRock Show, where I'm here to help you get your fitness back on track at any age and regardless of your current fitness level, so you can spend more quality time with your families, have a brighter outlook on life, and finally find the true joy that life has to offer. I'm your host, LeRock. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thanks for hanging out with me again. Thanks for putting me in your ears. Thanks for listening to me as you go about your daily chores, your daily tasks that you have in the day. Maybe you're working out at the gym, maybe you're in your car driving, and I appreciate the fact that you're coming to me to get a little positivity in your ears today. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for coming back, and thanks for continuing to believe in yourself as you move forward in your own weight loss journey. And I'm here cheering for you every week. So for this week's episode, I wanted to keep things kind of natural, and I don't have any notes laid out. I'm not going off any kind of a script. All I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot from my heart and from my mind and share with you the steps that I would take if I had you sitting across from me today, regardless of your current condition, whether you're 30 pounds overweight, whether you're 50 pounds overweight, whether you're 300 pounds overweight. The solution is still the same. Because my belief, and I preach this each week, is that psychology is the number one reason, the number one thing that we need to focus on in order to lose weight, in order to get our health and fitness back, and in order to achieve anything we want in life. It's true. When it comes to health and fitness, a lot of people focus on diet and exercise, and it is important, but it is not the most important thing. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you right now so that you can have an understanding. You see, I found out the hard way when I was very young, in my early 20s, that even though I had all the education when it came to nutrition and exercise, and I managed to get myself in really good shape, I found myself obese. In a really young, I think I was 26 or 27, I was obese. And what does that mean? That means based on my height and my weight, I was about 33% body fat. And there's a calculation that you can go on the internet and you can pull up a BMI calculator and the body mass index calculator, and you can quickly find out where you lay. You're either going to be normal, or you're going to be overweight, or you're going to be obese, etc. So it's a real eye-opening thing when you do that. So what I would do, if I were, my advice to you, if you want to lose weight, is not to be focusing on what exercise that you can do, and not to just focus on what food that you can eat or what nutritional plan you can follow, but take a step further back and think about the reason why likely that you're not, moving, you're not eating properly. And what are the real reasons behind that? Because that is the secret that will get you to where you want to be. That's what I did, and that's how I did it all those years ago. Now, before we dive in, if you haven't taken full advantage, please go ahead and download your very own free copy of my Automate Your Plate checklist. Automate Your Plate is an eating approach that I created more than 15 years ago. It helped me to shed 65 pounds in 13 weeks, and that was like a lifetime ago. I've been on it ever since, and I've never looked back. It's never done me wrong. You can get yourself a copy by going to ethanlerock.com/automate. That's ethanlerock.com/automate. I'm telling you, it's super simple to follow. And if it's followed correctly, you can get amazing results. So go ahead, download yourself a copy, and I'd look forward to hearing about your results. So let's get back into this. What I would do if I could sit across from you today is I would advise you of 9 simple steps, the same steps that are in my book. The first one being, and before I get into that, the reason I'm going through this and the reason I think psychology is the number one most important thing is because most of us, the reason that we're really overweight and the reason we keep sliding back into bad habits is because we really haven't taken the time to think about why it is that we want to become healthy and fit in the first place. We haven't asked ourselves the questions of, why do we keep being pulled towards high calorie foods? Why do we put things in our mouths when we know that they're bad for us? And it's a lot of it, it's not really intentional. It's not something that you're just planning on doing. It's just it's a pattern that you allow yourself to fall into. And that's your psychological patterns that have been established over time. The cool thing about that, once you realize that, once you get to a point in your life like I did, where you realize that it has very little to do with the exercise plan that you're following or the nutritional plan that you're following. It has a lot more to do with your lack of focus when it comes to your health and fitness. That's usually, for most people, that's a big thing. Or you don't understand quite what the important things to health and fitness are. You don't understand the importance of having some daily focus on what you want to achieve in life. And it's not just health and fitness. It's everything in your life. If you don't focus, take an intentional time to intentionally think about what you want to focus on. What are the things that you desire in life? And put some effort and a little bit of planning in place. Then how the heck are you going to get there to where you want to be? It's not going to fall in your lap. I'll tell you that right now. You have to set intentions. If you're a person who's often asked yourself, how does that person do so well? And why is that person, able to make all this money? And why is that person able to get in great shape? And why does that person seem to have an amazing relationship and I can't have that? There's reasons for that. It's because that person you're thinking about, that person, whoever that might be, has taken the time to put some importance and some intention on what they want in life. Okay? So when we're talking about your health and fitness, the very first thing that I would advise to you is to sit down and visualize who it is you want to be. And what I mean is physically. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to look healthy and be fit? And really get a clear picture of who that person is. Because unless you can see it, unless it becomes something tangible, something you can keep in your mind and you can aim for, then it's very hard to focus in on what it is you want. It's like driving without a map. You have to have some sort of an idea of where you want to go. And visualization is the very first step in doing that. So the second thing I would advise after you've done your visualization, and there's many ways to do that, and I don't have time to talk about that in a little a vlog today. It's something that's much deeper than that. But through watching several of my videos, I put up free videos every week, you can kind of get the gist of how to do that. Or you can join my online course or whatever you feel like doing. But the second thing that I would do after I have my visualization clear, I have a clear picture of what I want. That means what I would look like, what would my face look like, what would my hair look like, what would my body look like, starting at the top and working my way down and getting a real clear picture. The second thing I would do is I would take a snapshot of where I am today. The bold truth of where you are. And I would advise to you to take body measurements. Of course, I would advise you to step on a scale and weigh yourself. I would advise that whatever you can check and whatever you can document, your blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, get your doctor to do some blood work on you and get that stuff all checked out, because you're about to go on an adventure to change your entire life. So the reason I ask you to take a snapshot at the beginning is because often over time, when we start making progress in life and doing things well, and we start achieving things in life, we forget where we started. We forget where we were at, and we don't appreciate how much achievement we've made. We have no idea. We start to forget, and we don't really think we've achieved as much as we have. So getting a clear snapshot of where we're starting is a really important step. And a lot of people pass this step and ignore it. And then as time goes by, they have nothing to look back on, nothing to grade themselves against. And it's really a shame that most people don't do that. So the third thing, after you've done your visualization and you've taken your snapshot, and you should take some before pictures as well. Get a friend or somebody to take your picture, straight from the front, from the side, from the back, from all angles, in a very relaxed fashion. Maybe in some spandex shorts if you're a guy, or for ladies out there, some sort of bathing suit or something. So it's not something too ridiculous, but something that reveals your body. You don't want to be covering your entire body in these pictures, because you really want to be able to focus in and see the differences as you progress. So the third thing that I would advise to you is to adopt a really good nutrition plan, whatever that might be for you. And it has to be something that you can see yourself doing for the long term. So in my book, I have an eating approach that I promote called Automate Your Plate. It's basically, it tells you what you should eat. It tells you when you should eat. It tells you how often you should eat. It tells you what those portion sizes should be. It encourages drinking lots of water, of course. It has automation built right into it. So the automation, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I've talked about it before, but the automation aspect of it is you're cooking all your meals on one day and you're doing what's called meal prep, but you're doing it with certain portion sizes that your body can ingest within a 2.5 hour period of time. And it keeps your blood sugar stable. It keeps you fueled for your workouts and for your day. And the other automatic part about it is how you prepare your meals each day. As you pull your meals out of the fridge, you prepare them, and then you put them into your cooler, and you have them with you so that all day long when you need nutrition, it's right there within an arm's reach. And it's really cool. There's some little tricks and tips I have in there, but that's what I would suggest. Step 3 is automating your plate. So then I'd move on to step 4, is to train should never be a pain. So what I mean by that in my book is you should pick something in life, a workout approach that is congruent with who you are. Congruent with who you are in your heart and your mind, something that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life. Because I'm telling you right now, that's the secret. You need to really start thinking about the future and about what you can do for the long term. And it should be something physical for your exercise. You can lose a significant amount of weight and keep it off for a lifetime without exercising. But there are other reasons to exercise. Exercise will bring you, it keeps the body moving. It gives you momentum. It makes the fluids in your body circulate better. It causes you to sweat. Therefore, you're getting rid of toxins while you're at it. And it will help you speed up the weight loss process. So yes, you should pick a physical activity. And it doesn't have to be the physical activity that I suggest. That's what's different about this channel. I'm going to be honest with you. What I personally do is I do resistance training. I work out 3 times a week right now, and it wasn't like that when I started. I'm not going to mislead you there either. When I first started, I was doing 4 days of resistance training and then 2 days of light cardio. So I do 30 minutes sessions for 2 days on an elliptical trainer. And that's all I did. And now I've got it down to 3 days where I work out in the gym. But that's not what you have to do. You can work out in the gym like I did, or at home, or whatever's comfortable for you. Or you can pick something entirely different. You could pick yoga. You could pick running. That's a good one. You could pick dance. You could pick Tai Chi. You could take up some sport that you've always wanted to take up. Go play hockey again if you used to play hockey when you were younger. Join some sort of a basketball league, whatever it might be. Baseball, something where you're just out there, you're doing physical activity. And my advice to you, if you want the biggest bang for your buck, is do something that's going to make your muscles grow. Because to me, that's the whole point of exercise, is to get those muscles larger. Because the larger your muscles are, the more calories they're going to burn. And that means they're burning more calories when you're just sitting still and when you're sleeping at night. Now, the knowledge of that is amazing when you think about it. If you can get your muscles larger, you're going to be burning calories without even trying. So I highly advise that. So we started out with our visualization. We took a snapshot of where we're starting out. We have our eating approach determined, right? That we're going to follow. We've decided on some sort of exercise that we want to do in our lives. So the 5th thing you need to do is you need to plan your life. You need to run your life, or life will run you. That's what I call it. That's directive number 5. So what does that mean? That means you need to get a really good understanding of what you're doing on a daily basis with your time. And all it involves is spending 1 week with 7 sheets of paper, writing out what you're due from the minute you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night. And you do it in 15-minute increments. While you're at work, you really don't have to focus so much on writing down everything you're doing at work, because that really doesn't matter. But what we're trying to do is harness the power of the time that you spend before you go to work and after you're done work till you go to bed, so that you can take charge of it, so you can harness the power of that and figure out how much time you're actually wasting on non-value added things. Okay? And once you have those things all kind of chunked and laid out, then it's up to you to decide what you want to do with your time. And the obvious ones are, you want to find time for your exercise, and you want to find time in there for your nutrition. And you load that into your plan, but you also load other things that are important to you. It's not just your health and fitness. It could be anything. Hobbies that you've long forgotten about. Maybe you want to learn to play a musical instrument. Maybe that you haven't been spending enough time in your relationship with your spouse. It could be anything. Investing, doing your budgeting, figuring out your finances. There's all these things that people just they don't like to deal with. But if you find time by chunking out your day and figuring out exactly what you're doing with your time, then you are going to be in charge of your life. You will be planning your life instead of the other way around. So with those 5 things I just shared, you can really set yourself up for a lifetime, not only of losing weight quickly, but for the rest of your life. Not only taking charge of your life for a short period of time, but for the rest of your life. But what will happen is, after these 5 things, as you're following them, you're going to run into other roadblocks in your life that come your way. The next one we're going to talk about is number 6, procrastination. Dealing with procrastination. Procrastination isn't just a cute little thing that, makes people so that they don't get things achieved in life that they want to achieve. It's a real problem for a lot of people in life. Procrastination is any time in your life that you are thinking about starting something, or you want to hit something valuable to you in your life, and you say, I'll do it after this thing. I'll do it after the weekend because, we're going to be going out, we're going to be doing this and that. So I'll get started with my fitness on Monday. Sound familiar? I'm going to go on this diet, but I'm going to wait until we go on this vacation, because I know when I go on the vacation, I'm going to be eating all kinds of junk food and drinking lots of drinks, so I'll just do it afterwards. Or we'll do it after this, birthday party. It goes on and on and on. Procrastination is your way of putting things off in life. So I did the math on this, and in my book, and I teach it in my online course as well. There are 156 days that I call procrastination potential events. That includes weekends and birthdays and holidays and all this anniversaries and special time like Valentine's, weddings, you name it. They're all procrastination potential events, which means you can use them as an excuse not to do what you should be doing and putting it off till later. That's 43% of your entire life that you can be procrastinating, putting things off. So what are you going to do about it? You need to understand what they are. And then I'm not telling you shouldn't live your life and you shouldn't enjoy these things, but you need to put plans in place where you can, yes, enjoy those events because they're all important. But more importantly, so you can also take care of yourself, take care of your health and fitness and all the other things you need to take care of in your life. Because those are also much more important. So now we're in our headspace, as you can tell. We're talking about procrastination, things that are different, things that are not usually associated with health and fitness. And that's the problem with the whole health and fitness thing. Nobody's focusing on this stuff. And that's why I'm sharing this every single week with you guys. The seventh thing that I would ask you to do is to deal with your thoughts on failure. A lot of people are terrified of trying something new because they're afraid of failure or rejection. And unless you can come to terms with that and realize that the problem isn't just that you're not exercising or that you're not eating right, that maybe you have some issues with the idea of what other people will think of you, or that you're not really skilled at anything yet. You're not really skilled at that thing that you want to do. So you don't want to fail at it. Maybe you've been injured in the past because maybe somebody didn't show you what you should be doing properly when it comes to form with your exercise or whatever it might be. Or maybe you went to some class and you felt humiliated or embarrassed because it didn't work out. Well, guess what? That's stuff that you need to get over. Because if you're afraid of failure is one of the two outcomes of trying. The other one is success. So if you can get over that fear of failure and get back on the horse and try out something new, then you're going to be well on your way to going to where you want to be. I can't urge you enough to not let failure or fear or the fear of rejection stop you from getting to where you want to be. Because you're in control of this whole thing. And if you let fear and the fear of failure hold you back, then how can you ever succeed in life? How can you ever get to where you want to be? How can you ever get to be that person that you visualized at the beginning? So now we're getting deeper into the headspace. We've talked about procrastination. We've talked about dealing with failure. The next one, and this one impacts your life. This one really has a lot of, it's one of the big root cause things of why a lot of people have problems with binge eating. They have problems where they just want to zone out, sit down and watch sports on the television or watch some television shows or scroll on their phones endlessly. It's because they don't realize it, but they're missing something in their lives. They're missing a really important element of what makes us who we are. They're missing positivity. Their lives have become dull. Their lives have become stressful, painful. They haven't been taking care of all the things that they should be taking care of in life. And what they're doing is they're living in a life of distraction, avoidance, trying to get away from all those things that they deem right now as being painful. But they're actually already in pain. And they're not doing anything about it. Day after day, they're not finding ways to seek out positivity. Because the more positivity you have in your life, the positive relationships, the positive events, the things that cause these great memories in our lives. When you don't have any of that going on for you, then that's where these things happen in our psychology that make us reach out for other things to fill the void. Alcohol, drugs, binge eating, doing bad things because we're looking for an answer. We don't realize it. We know that when we go to that fast food restaurant and we take that big giant hamburger with all the stuff dripping off it and we're eating it, we know that that's bad for us. But it also feels really good, right? It feels good while we're doing it, until after we're done doing it. And that's the vicious loop with psychology. We abuse ourselves to feel better, and we get an immediate dopamine reaction where we feel good for a brief moment, and then it crashes. Our blood sugar goes up, blood sugar goes down, and then all we feel is regret afterwards. And then time goes by and we forget, and we do it all over again. That's what happens when you ignore your psychology. When you ignore our focus on what's important to us in life. So that's one of the most important steps, Step 8, seeking out positivity. You can do this. And when you start doing this, when you start seeking out people in your life that are positive, friends around you that are like-minded and care about you sincerely, they're not out to poke you all the time, at least not in a bad way. Poking fun is fine, but they're not out to hurt your feelings all the time. People that are good, people that are good-natured. Going to events that are positive, whatever your religion might be, your place of worship, whatever it might be, being around people that are just uplifting, people that care about you. When you listen to music, it's another thing, positive music in your ears. It's okay to listen to some hard music once in a while. We all need a nice energetic vibe once in a while, but it's good to listen to nice harmonies, words that are positive, things that feed our mind and feed our soul and make us feel good inside. Positive, when we watch anything we watch on television or watch on the internet, most of it should be positive. We should avoid, and part of that is avoiding negative things, avoiding negative people, avoiding negative media, avoiding negative music, avoiding negative events, staying away from all the drama and chaos that's out there, because there's plenty of it if you're looking for it. But you get that stuff out of your life, and I'm telling you right now, I did it years ago. I don't watch television. I haven't had a cable or a satellite subscription in over 15 years. I do watch television shows, but I do it on my terms. I don't watch any commercials. I don't watch any of the political ads. If I see anything, if I'm on Facebook and I see anything that's political, right away I click off of it. I don't buy into it. Because that's all it is. It's just media feeding you because they want you to stay on there longer so that they can sell advertisements to you. That's the truth about it. And once you understand that and you start seeking out positivity in your life, it will change everything for you. And that includes your health and fitness. Because you'll no longer be trying to fill a void. Because positivity will be in there. Positivity will destroy that feeling of lack that you may have right now. And it'll help you so you can start focusing in on what's important in life. And the last thing, number 10, that I advise to you, as you go through all these steps, these directives that I'm talking about, is at the end, you're going to start making some progress. You're going to lose a whole bunch of weight. You're going to get in charge of a lot of things in your life. Your relationship's going to improve. Your financial situation's going to improve. You'll likely have a much better career in life. Yes, from following these steps. Your happiness level will improve. You'll be feeling all these great things. And at the end of it all, number 10, what I advise to you is to transcend. Look back at what you were and give back. And this is it's a headspace one. It's a psychology-based directive. I want you to realize that if you've done this correctly, you will no longer be the person that you are right now. You will be somebody different. Yes, you'll have the same name. Yes, you'll be the same person, but you'll be different. You know, for example, with me, I'm no longer a fat guy who loses some weight and finds himself fat again. And it's constantly trying to figure out what the next workout plan can be to get me to where I want to be, or what's the next diet that I can try out because that one didn't work. You get to a point in your life where you actually transcend. You become something different. That part of you no longer exists. In fact, nobody can see it in you. I can walk up to people on the street and say, I was obese twice, not only once, but twice. And I figured my way out. And by the time I'm done that sentence, people are looking at me like, what? You were never obese. Because I've transcended. Everything about my being is different. The way I carry myself, the way I feel, the happiness and joy that I bring with me, the empathy that I have for people. It's because I found my place. I've transcended to that place, and you can do the exact same thing. It's not something woo-woo, you know? It's just something that happens. I need a drink. Okay. Made it to almost the end of the video without taking a drink. That's good. So yes, you've transcended. You found yourself in a new place. But what's really important is that over time you're going to forget. You know, you're going to be doing whatever you're doing in life. You know, and I don't know where you're at, but you're going to be at a place where you're doing really well. And you're going to start to forget. So you need to, every once in a while, like I said at the beginning, when I said take a snapshot of where you're at today, what your measurements were, what you looked like, what your blood pressure was, whatever it was, what you weighed on the scale. I want you to go and look at that and look at where you are today. Because if you're doing your planning correctly, like I advised earlier, you're planning, you've been tracking this all throughout. And now you're at the end, you're at your goal weight. You know, you're doing well in life. Whatever that might be, whatever you've wanted to do, whatever you set your goal to achieve. And you're there, and you need to look back and realize how far you've come. And allow yourself to celebrate the small wins. You know, allow yourself to be proud of yourself for what you've done. Because you have come a long way, and you have achieved a lot. And to forget all that, you can find yourself right back where you started. So it's always important to look back. And the next step to that is giving back. If there is anything that you can do in life to help another human being, whatever that is that you do really well, something you could help somebody with, then I advise you to do just that. I advise you to give back. Give back to your community, to your fellow human beings, and help someone else's life be just a little bit better. That's kind of what I'm doing here. That's kind of why I spent years writing this book, and why I've spent months creating my online course, and why I'm out here every week sharing this information with you. It's because I'm giving back. One of the things in life that I've done several things, luckily, you know, through a lot of pain. I've learned how to do a lot of things better in life. And one of them is my health and fitness. And that's why every week I'm here sharing this with you. Because I want to give back. Because guess what? Giving is one of the most selfish things you can do. That's right. Giving is one of the most selfish things you can do. Because it fills you with this feeling of contentment, this feeling of joy, this feeling of, it's just an amazing feeling. It's one of the greatest feelings you can have in life, is when you give back and you help others. And once you start doing that a little more often, then you can feel that all the time. That's why I'm excited every single week to get in front of this camera and talk to you, to share these little life lessons with you. And this week's lesson was entirely off script. No script written down, no bulleted points. The advantage was I was talking about something that I spent a lot of time dealing with, and that was writing my book, my 9 directives that I established. But I also challenged myself this week not to have a script. and just go. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And by all means, if you're looking for a really good eating approach that's super easy to follow, that doesn't require that you starve yourself, doesn't require that you count every calorie, then download my free Automate Your Plate checklist. You can get yourself a copy by going to ethanlerock.com/automate. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click on the link down below and you can get it there. I am super thankful that I get to be here today to share these little tips and tricks with you. I'm humbled and honored that you watch each week. And I really hope you start instilling some of these little steps into your life. And maybe go back through this video, because this one had all 9 directives from the top of my head listed out. These are the directives that I follow in life that give me a full, well-rounded life. I appreciate this life that I have. I feel healthy. I feel fit, yes. I feel amazing. I feel full of joy. But I also have so many other things as a residual effect of following these 9 directives that I shared with you today. And before we go, I'm curious. What are your thoughts on this idea of psychology being the secret to losing weight and keeping it off for a lifetime? Of psychology being the real true root cause of why so many of us, so many people in society are plagued with obesity? Because I'm always curious about what you think. And I appreciate your feedback. So thanks for hanging out with me again today. I appreciate you. And have an awesome remainder of the day and week. And until we meet again, stay healthy, be happy, and live your life with intention every single day.